In the drowned heart of Africa, a gray silhouette stands perfectly still. To the marsh around it, this bird has effectively stopped existing. Standing 4.5 feet tall, the shoebill is defined by its silence. It can hold this exact posture for hours, ignoring the movement of the swamp as it waits for a single opening. Its domain is the vast papyrus wetlands of Central and Eastern Africa, remote reaches like the Sudd in South Sudan and the Bangweulu floodplains of Zambia. These stagnant channels are choked with rotting vegetation. As the plants decay, they strip the water of oxygen, creating a suffocating environment that most aquatic hunters avoid. The shoebill weaponizes the hostility of the swamp. It thrives in these dead zones specifically because the bad water forces its prey to come to it. In an ordinary river, a fish can stay hidden in the cool depths. Here, the starved water makes staying deep a death sentence. The lungfish is an ancient survivor of these conditions. It survives by rising to the surface to gulp air directly, but the poorer the water, the more often it must rise. The shoebill exploits this biological requirement. It adopts a purely passive strategy, letting the oxygen-starved swamp deliver desperate prey to the surface, one breath at a time. Its extreme stillness is a calculated tactic designed to outweigh the biological limits of the creatures swimming beneath it. This stillness is supported by specialized anatomy. To keep from sinking, the shoebill has incredibly long, unwebbed toes that spread its weight across floating mats of vegetation like snowshoes. Then there is the bill. Measuring 9 inches long and 4 inches across, it is a dense keratin meat hook with razor-sharp edges and a downward curving tip. When the moment finally arrives, the bird launches its entire weight forward. It crashes into the water with such force that it loses its own balance, a maneuver researchers call the collapse. This violence is necessary for the targets it selects: thick lungfish, heavy catfish, and even young crocodiles. Because these animals are too powerful to be swallowed whole, the shoebill uses the bill's sharpened edges like a vice, decapitating and dismembering its prey before consuming it. The shoebill has traded speed for immense crushing power, evolving its entire face around defeating the heaviest and most difficult targets in the marsh. While the hunt is efficient, the shoebill keeps its most unsettling behavior for the nest, deep within the privacy of the floating reeds. A female usually lays 2 eggs a few days apart. This small gap in timing gives the first chick to hatch a critical advantage in size and strength. The larger chick systematically bullies its younger sibling. The parents do not intervene, prioritizing the elder chick instead, even as they watch the second grow weak. In the swamp, the younger chick is an insurance policy, a backup in case the first fails. The margins of the marsh are too thin to provide enough food for 2 of these massive predators. This strategy ensures that the parent's limited energy is focused on a single survivor, reflecting the biological reality of a landscape where food is never guaranteed. For years, this bird was misclassified as a stork, but its behavior says otherwise. At the nest, it throws its head back and snaps its bill in a rapid mechanical drum roll that sounds like machine gun fire. Skeletal and blood data place the shoebill on its own isolated branch on the tree of life, separate from storks. Its closest genetic relatives are actually pelicans and hammerkops, sharing traits like throat fluttering to shed heat. The shoebill is the single living member of its family. It is a lineage that traces back tens of millions of years, the final survivor of its unique branch on the tree of life. These harsh behaviors are only one side of the shoebill. Parents who allow one chick to perish provide tireless, gentle labor for the one that lives. They stand for hours, using their wings as living sunshades and ferry water in their bills to keep the nest cool. These extremes of violence and devotion are the honest cost of survival in a habitat that gives nothing away for free. The shoebill relies on deep, undisturbed swamps, but these wild spaces are disappearing. Human draining of wetlands and the illegal wildlife trade are closing in on its remaining territory. Current estimates put the global population in the low thousands, with as few as 5,000 individuals left in the wild. A creature that raises one chick at a time and relies on absolute stillness cannot outrun the fast-paced disturbance of the modern world. It remains a specialist of the in-between places, neither solid ground nor open water, but the margins where land and water blur. The patience that allowed the shoebill to survive for millions of years is completely powerless against a changing map. Its future depends entirely on whether we are willing to leave its quiet corners untouched.